Never did I think I'd say this in 2025. China versus Ottomans is actually becoming one of my most intrigued matchups. Seriously, guys, like this matchup is crazy right now. If you slip as China in the early game, Ottomans can run you through, and Core can't risk that because both players are on match point. Welcome back, folks, to the Midweek Muster. Time for a caster game. We've got Core up against Ayumi. Ayumi, who is a 2000 plus ELO player from China that has been scrimming a bunch with Louis MT. Core put us onto this series, said you actually should check this out. There's a round of 32 that's worth your time. So we had to check in on that. Yeah, kind of an interesting one, actually. With the nerfs to Pro Scouts, the nerfs to tax timing, Ottomans, they're looking a lot more scary. Like, this is already a King Silver Feudal Age off the back of the light cav and the auras around them. If you find that timing and you get the blocker, China begins to unravel. And this could be the type of spawn that could allow for that. Double zero on one side gives you a clear blocker. Curious to see how Core's going to try to address this, navigate it, and if we're even going to be getting Pro Scouts. Oh, sorry, someone asked earlier, am I paying for these tournaments? Yes. We have Microsoft funding, and then we set them up and pay out. We're literally paying players out $500 every single week. So it comes to $20,000 in total by the end of the circuit. I just realized, am I on the thingy scene still? I am, aren't I? 1 second. Ooh, let me get out of this. Gotta remember my display cap stuff. Has there been a change in Sapahi lately? There was earlier this year, and it's been one of those over time things where people have got better and better at utilizing them to the point that Sapahi are by far the best light cav in the game now, which most players would have already kind of agreed on. It's just a lot of players felt like it was difficult and risky to leverage them previously. Like, it didn't feel completely safe. Which country is stronger in the late game? In the late game, it's actually interesting, because I think Ottomans is better. The problem for China, I think, comes down to they'll have better economy, but the unit types Ottomans have just feel a lot scarier. You know, if you start getting a great bombard line going, it just feels like it's cheek slapped. And Sapahi to back that up. No, obviously the weak point is going to be the gunpowder. Janissary versus hand cannoneers is a big difference. China hasn't been a late game powerhouse for like 4 years. Their economy is still powerhouse. And also Yuan Dynasty is a hell of a drug. But the thing is, like, for China, the reason they haven't been a great late game powerhouse for like, and 4 years is an exaggeration, for like maybe a year and a half, 2 years, is because they've been really good at playing earlier. Like, to be honest, in more recent times, China has been a killer in Castle Age because of the Pro Scouts meta with heavy cav. They also do have a really good timing around massing archers, but of course, like, that's going to be pretty rough to try and use here. Like, you can't really bring that one out against Ottomans because Sapahi will just wipe you away. Still, no one on gold. Pulls off because of the spears. I assume we're going to be looking at an archery range opening here to re-secure the gold. And then you're probably going to want to pad it with maybe Spin as well. But that means if he is going to be good Pro Scouts, we're probably looking at a very delayed Pro Scouts. But that's the whole value play on the opening for Ottomans. Like, they were always pretty good for this idea. Just get a few Spimmin out, and your opponent doesn't want to stay on the gold gathering towards that expensive Pro Scout. Ancient Techniques got buffed. I think so. I remember seeing something about it. Wasn't it a discount? I think they discounted the cost of it, if I remember correctly. It used to be a lot more pricey. China usually punish 2TC with feudal aggression. They actually can. They're pretty good at it because the archer strat that we just highlighted. They blob archers really fast with supervision, and they get refunds on the way, which allows them to afford things like Steeled Arrow, Undermesh, and of course the Siege Engineering. Still has insane hand cannoneers and Palace Guard. Yeah, the Palace Guard is like interesting. Both the hand cannoneer and Palace Guard timing on China gets enabled by the hyper late, so you do have to get to the point where you've got Yuan Dynasty online. It's not just a granted these days. Honestly, the thing that has made China look dominant for a very long time has really just been the Pro Scouts, because then they never have to go for the danger point, which is the farm setup. But if we return to a meta where like you have to always go for the farm setup, that's where China will start to look a decent amount weaker. Really nice map for trade. It's tempting, but let's remember, Madrasa wins games, Sultani Trade Network slowly kills you. Yeah, it's just the food income. Because, like, let's say both players went horsemen, which sounds a bit crazy for trying to do against Ottomans, but it's not unrealistic. Then the risk you then run is like, hey, you're playing out the deer, the berries, or whatever, and I can now just hunt you down. So the cool thing about going for Madrissa, and it's the same reason why most players would go for the Antonian Hills, is it keeps all your food economy safe under the TC. So then you just focus on attacking your opponent and shutting them down. Like, if you think about it, when there's a risk of raiding the other side, your first 10 units are probably going to stay at home. But with Ottomans, because of these details, in conjunction with how good their light cav is, things like the healer boys, they're able to just gung-ho at you with, you know, barely double-digit units. And actually win fights. Pro scouts coming in. Archer's being built up by cool. So he's doing exactly what we expected. The 1-1-1. I think this is becoming more popular with China. Just realizing that, like, against these Dark Age civs, you're going to delay your timing. But you still want the deer, even with the nerfs to Pro Scouts. Like, China is one of the civs that's remained pretty stalwart in their belief that this is the way. What's happening behind us, though? Looks like we are getting the extra military schools, which has become full meta now. There was a time, I'd say about a year ago, where building military schools started to fall off. A few players actually thought it was bad to do because you missed the timing. But with some optimization, I think also because Pro Scouts got nerfed, it's not looking bearable anymore. If every tournament start with Dry Arabia and then loser picks the map, this map just feels so fair. Should I say it, chat? So, the problem with Dry Arabia is, by design, you think it's the fairest map. But, in actuality, if the map seems like its design is balanced and fair, that means any RNG element is amplified in its effect. So, for example, sheep spawns. So, we've literally had this from players where they'll play like a Dry Arabia and they'll go, well, I missed out on sheep, and because I missed out on sheep, I couldn't play this map. The game is literally over in their eyes at that point. Now, you can have some arguments about whether you think the game is truly over, but there is a valid point that when everything seems balanced and refined or whatever, any small nigglings you have, and there will always be some, will just be the amplified factor to change the outcome of the game. And sheep spawns in particular is still a ridiculous element in Age of Empires 4. One that still hasn't really been addressed. There's been attempts. I'm still just a big believer that we just need different food types and that'll just fix it all. Mohammed now on the way. So it's going to be a fast castle setup. Honestly, kind of liking this overall. Like, you're not going to stop the Pro Scouts, you just play for the late timing. By that logic, most maps are unwinnable since you start unfavored. Like, there's always going to be elements that impact your ability to play, right? So really what it comes down to is, like, maybe you like the design of the average layout of resources of Dry Arabia, and at the same time, there'll be players that prefer the average layout of, like, a Hill and Dale, as crazy as that sounds. And we've had that where I'm like, there's no way you guys like Hill and Dale. And then the chat's like, I love Hill and Dale. Really, I don't think there's any perfect map. So, like, what you're better off doing is then trying to refute. Your counter-argument on why Dry Arabia can be a good starting map is any Civ could be here, technically. But even that's not true, because when you manipulate the draft to have different maps in it, all of a sudden, any Civ can't be here because then it's suboptimal play. Like, for example, if I draft Tuklak, but there's Frisian Marshes in the rotation. Now, like, I've already leaned my draft away from Tuklak on Dry Arabia because Frisian Marshes in the draft. You see what I mean? And then you get into okay, just have a Dry Arabia only tournament. That will get boring really fast. It's cool as a one-off, because we had a few of those was it this year last. And they're cool as one-offs. But you need that variety. It's the spice of life. Military schools. starting to get burnt onto, but Core, can you actually get in here? Like, it's going to be men-at-arms coming, and you're now fighting into them. At this point, I think it's just a throwaway, so Core can buy time for Castle Age. Meta actually is absorbing a lot of fire. Archers will switch to a squishier target, though. Yellow, I don't think he's going to get shut down here. Obviously, it's not completely safe. You can't reply on the base in a rush. So, a little bit weird there, but does get the supply perfectly positioned behind the men-at-arms. Most of them, anyway. And now rotate around. And remember, there's no veterancy coming for these guys. They're not actually the overwhelming threat they could be in small numbers. They still should be good enough. So he will stabilize, controls his base, but look at what Core's done. It is going to be the Imperial Palace, Chiching coming through. Yeah, which is now become full meta, actually. I never thought we'd see the day, but you have to remember, we've been deep in a knight meta for a long, long time. People don't really go in a different direction. They don't really tend to think about infantry at the start of an age up. You're always thinking heavy cav to control them out. He steal some of the deer? He took, I think, one. Yeah, he took one deer from over here. And he'll try to creep more because they're both double deer. Vizier points come in. We've got Anatolian plus the military campus. Wait, what was this talk about Pulse Guard earlier? We're actually getting Pulse Guard on the opening by Core. What interesting comp. PG, Spim, and Lancer. Not your everyday bread and butter, actually. Oh, by the way, I just glanced at, we'll read the rest of it together. I have a very abusive response from the timed out person. Apparently wants to be upgraded to a ban. Let's talk about that. This will be fun. I think that Yumi's just kind of letting me have it. He hasn't got much cav to slow this down right now. Oh, wait, nope, spoke too soon. Archers come around the back. What do you say? You have to wait until after the game to find out. We'll make it a shared moment. Push coming in. Lance is pretty strong here. This is where it feels a little bit weird to be on the men-at-arms. I think he needed it to stabilize against the die from the archers, but it's great. Quite gonna go up in time, so you may gonna start hemorrhaging some workers. That's the 4th worker kill already. This ain't a great look. I mean, you have military schools to pad you, but it's still rough to be behind on economy against China at this stage of the game. Especially when you know they're playing pro scouts and hoovering more food from your side. Still, it has got a lot of passive production, right? Triple military school plus Mehmet. So it's not curtains, it's definitely not GG, but this is kind of a grim look right now. It kind of feels like Core's being allowed to have the whole map. And you're seeing it in the relic dispersion. He's already bringing 2 back compared to the 1. The last 2 are actually closer to Core's base. This does realistically look like a 4 relic Chinese game. Do you know the Ottoman player? Yep, Ayumi. He's a really interesting player to watch, actually. His game 1 was a really hard start, and yet he somehow kept that going for, I think it was 25 or 30 minutes in the end against Core. Then game 2, he just rolls him off with Lancaster against English in 12 minutes. Yeah, Ayumi. So, not an I and E at the end. So maybe it's Ayum. I've been calling it Ayumi. It's probably Ayum. Or Yume. I always forget the Chinese pronunciation of that. Don't call him anime. Actually, I don't know. If he... okay, guys. If he gets the Meta Drum Slayer, you can call him anime. Because then he's moving at Naruto speed. Good bait. Brings him a range. Double springlers. Wait. Oh, no. Core got caught going mass spam and... So Relic's looking pretty good. He could always stabilize the Nesta Bees. Like this is interesting. We actually had this matchup, you guys remember, between Core and Scarlet at the start of EGC's main event. And like Nesta Bees can actually dismantle a lot of this backline strat. Like I remember Core was giving me background on this guy. Like he was able to 2-0 Mahodo in the EGC qualifiers. And I think like the words that Core used to describe this game, he said, "This is a banger." So that's a Core approved banger, chat. That's how you know you're getting a good time. Is that the monk? Wait, what? He's already picked it up. I don't know why the monk came back here. I think he's just wasting time. Well, this is proof that wearing sandals will indeed make you faster. He's not fast enough. Goes down. Creator 1 against Jiff. Wait, was that the round of 32? I didn't notice that about my own tournament. I was like, whoops. That's almost skipped by. Because we obviously got straight into Creator B yesterday, which was a 2-0 for B. It's kind of crazy. I'm like pulling up the stats now. Oh damn, you're right. Dude, I should have watched that. I regret that now. It's a 2-1. I wouldn't have expected Jiff and Nasu in the first round, but we have to remember Nasu, aka Creator, who we can see ended up losing to B in the end. He doesn't have any comp stats yet. Big fight coming in here for Ottomans. It's the Sapahi effect. Yeah, like, the Sapahi are able to be the second line to assist the kills and the spears while the men-at-arms hold on. Then you've got the meta to make it better. And honestly, this looks pretty good right now for you. Well, we can see berries being gathered. You guys know what that means. We're approaching that point. DEFCON 3 for China, right? Wait, is DEFCON 3 or DEFCON 1 bigger? I always forget. The farm transition is what we're getting at. The farm transition is the scary point when you play as China. Yeah, DEFCON 3 is pretty much get the farm transition. You're on full alert, you're at full danger. DEFCON 5 means nuclear? Is that true? What does DEFCON 4 mean then? And wait, he was going second TC? Nani? Weird dive here as well. Core gets stuck in choke points, and this is where the siege could take a giant crap on ya. Mango springles to holds. He's wasting a lot of time chasing after a few lances here. We'll dive towards some workers now. Core does get bodied in the base of Ayum, but with that type of time that's been spent, that's been bought, gives you all the time in the world to prep a counter defense now. So active stone gathering. I don't know if he's going multi-TC or just a keep drop. A keep drop would make sense because he needs to set up the farms. Barbican coming in to enable the granaries. And I think this is going to be his farmland. It's a really good spot for it. You can wall across here. You can wall the back and just keep it fully secluded. Oh, so DEFCON 1 is the most severe. I thought so. DEFCON 5 apparently, like DEFCON 4 is like a heightened state or whatever. Yes, the highest military readiness is DEFCON 1, which means nuclear war. I used to remember these, because I used to play a lot of Act of War, which is a pretty cool RTS actually for its time. It was made by the people that went on to make games like Ruse. And what's the thing that Eugene made later? Ruse and then like the War games. Damn, I love that game. What DEFCON is Aliens? 1 if you don't like probing, and 5 if you do. If you like probing, it's just a good time. Isn't Song Dynasty super late? Nah, this is kind of like when you typically go for it. He got a good raid in, he killed a lot of workers while that second TC is being set up. And he's going to TC himself. Dude, we're going late game. Hunker down, folks. Get in the trenches. This ain't gonna be a fast finish. Yeehaw. Yeah, you don't usually see 2TC China because they don't feel like they need it. It might be that Core was slightly worried that maybe Ayum goes for Pax Ottomana. Because I think Pax Ottomana on 2TC can be decent now. Not insane, but at least worth consideration. Because it takes 2TC up to 3.5 TC. But remember, it's only temporary. Honestly, I think Pax Ottomana needs to be changed to be a permanent. But it needs to be on-off. So, for example, you get 4 minutes on and then 4 minutes off and 4 minutes on. So then it becomes like a wavy spike in, spike out type of thing. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I feel like I literally never see this taken. Like, every time I think of Pax Ottomana, I think of a Voldemar Mahodo game that did not end well for Ottomans. Kudos to you if you can actually recall that game. That was back on Skarsgård. Like auto repair for HRE. Yeah, sort of. It just gives you timings to play around then. That's the raid. Catches him building the farms at the start. Which, wait, how did he get in there? Like, look at the vision on the minimap for Core. Kind of surprised he got that close. Pax Ottomana is busted though, 11 seconds per villager. The problem is when we talk about these numbers that always sound busted, you have to remember there's a cost. Vizier points are precious and few between. And then on top of that, the other thing is that what you just then also said is you're spending more food to get more workers. Which does eventually become a good thing, but it means like if you just went 2 TC in Pax Ottomana, your burn rate is incredibly high for like the next 2 minutes before it starts to pay off. It's not like when you go Love Hotel. Like when HRE builds a Schwabia, it is cheaper to build workers. Like you build workers faster and it costs less. You know, same with like Abbasids, they can justify 2 TC because it's so cheap. But that's also, by the way, why we don't see 2 TC songs so much. Like there's a 600 cost investment, but then you're having to build a second TC, which is then going to lead to you spending more food on workers. Yeah, I reckon if Pax Ottomana reduced the cost of villages, it'd probably actually be pretty good. It's not a bad idea. Depends which way they want to go. So, big siege in. Ayum is looking pretty threatening right now. Remember what we said. This is the most dangerous point in the game for China. The farms are being set up. They're not fully fledged yet. Knock at the door. Monastery going to be going down. Are we going to get a heist? He doesn't have any monks right now, actually. It's 5 Nesta Bees, which is pretty scary, though. With mass spears and... China's army's bad, huh? What about their siege? Half health off of those Sipahi. Oh my god. They had health. China's like, you know, it's interesting. Like, when you think of the OG Civ, they kind of... If you had to list the most annoying Civs to try and push into in the mid lane, is it almost always early introduced Civs? Like China, English, let's say French as well, like, you know. And also, it means Sipahi need to find the perfect positioning because the Springles aren't going to be able to win that fight. The Springles will just get wiped by Nesta Bees. Like, this is the thing. Like, 1 Nesta Bees versus 1 Springle, 1 Springle's going to feel better. When you go up to 5 or 6, it's much, much stronger for the Bees. Ottoman's being bugged or broken? I'm not sure what he'd be referring to. What's bugged on them? Go Istanbul Imperial Palace. Most players won't do that though, because going Istanbul Imperial Palace means you're sacking free siege. And you know, even if the game only lasts up to this point, think of the value those Springles could have had if it was for these Nesta Bees. You know, if this game goes up to 50 minutes, 60 minutes, think of the value that passive siege production has over those extra points. It's not a fair comparison. The only time I think Imperial Palace is really going to make sense at this point is if they introduce more options or if trade meta comes back. One breach. I love the relentlessness that Ayumi's playing with. Farms are gradually being set up more and more, but they're only up to 11 so far. So food income should rocket soon for China, you think. But he's doing a good job of competing on the berries and the deer, but those are now being exhausted. Core, he never was able to take this tier stack. Why would you build the landmark that gives you the best siege when you can see in front of your base? Because you're usually not meant to get to this stage that quickly. Also, I think in a lot of players, they think in the mindset of, like, if you're not building siege as early in most games, then you can always come back for the option to build tanky siege as China. Because doing that later will then also enable Yuan Dynasty, which is huge. I'm actually surprised we haven't seen more Chinese players going for Yuan, to be honest. It's a little bit weird. With Shushi, we were seeing a lot of it because they go for the pagodas. Because that's another thing you get. You get that as China as well. But most Chinese players seem to be content to just stick Song instead. In fairness, it's not a fair comparison, right? Like, Shushi's Song is pretty trash compared to China's. You can either produce workers quicker or get a slight wood discount. It's like, I'll take the villages, please. Yeah, reminder, all this vision you're seeing for core is just that landmark. Has he been using the ability that often, though? It's a good feel to see where your opponent's at. To know when they're actually doing shift. Like, for example, if you scout right now, he might be a little bit suspicious that there's some tech upcoming because he's setting up the marketplace for a switch. So why you feel broken, bugged? Not they are bugged, though. Okay, so there's no proof of bug. I think what he probably means is that they, compared to other cavalry, feel like they glide a bit too much. But that, I think, is a byproduct of naturally the horseman being buffed. And hold on. Cancel it. Cancel it now. Cancel it like a late night TV show in 2025. Go, no. Go. It's fine. He's China, guys. Look at his income. Oh my god. Can we just, like... You gotta admit, though, losing 3,600 resources and still almost being able to buy it again is wild. What? Oh my god. It's a good thing he had those farms set up, or that might have been a curtains-type moment. Lose 3,600 resources and just have enough to buy it again. Chinese economy. Unbelievable. We are getting a mirror play here. So he did at least delay it long enough for that. Now I've got the siege coming in. The Great Bombard is slaying. He goes to the castle destruction. At least the Great Wall Gatehouse is going to be off. Guys, we're getting into it. You know that big-ass meat grind is coming. And the placement of this Great Wall... So what was the intent of this? I think... Couldn't he have placed it back here? What did he really claim? I mean, tree lines, I guess. This might have been preferable close to your base as well. So at least gives him a lot more wood. Question is that going to be enough to give him a win? Like, the fact that it's still not been fully walled, it has at least got castles, though. He's got castle here, Barbican, plus the Great Wall Gatehouse. There's entry points in the center, but that's being guarded. Spahi. Good to go for the clash. Lead tech for Spearman, now about to kick in, so good time to start retreating. Up from both sides now. He's trying to get those Nest of Beast kills. Great Bombard isn't going to be the best at slaying them either. It's going to take 3 shots. And remember, these do have additional barrels, though, so more threatening. But Ayum, he gets the entry. Spy line is going to crack it. They're still on Yvette, by the way. He's still waiting on elite in biology, but they're winning. Core gets deleted. Only Spearman left over against Mass Springwalls. Guys, this actually might be it. Ayum, if he can just push through now towards those farms. He has his WinCon. He has his DEFCON too. He's across onto the workers now. A few going to sneak past the defenses. Starts to dive in towards the production lines. Great Bombards are going for the landmarks, but this is slow. This is not a quick way of getting the win against China. #1 in landmark count. Remember, it's not an early bombard anymore. It's a real great bombard. Oh my god. He's just going to sneak out for the moment. Mass were being gathered. Villagers are shifting across for... what? The decap? Yeah. Okay, it's going to be a castle drop into gold, and that will give him the opportunity to decap. So that'll remove a threat point. Oh, man. I can't believe this. Just think of how different this game looks if he doesn't lose the 3,600 resource landmark and have to rebuild it. That would have been an immediate 3,600 resources going into elite timings much quicker, into extra units. But he goes in with a dive. The horseman round the back limb with the great bombard. Gets the phone touch. Janissaries will start cleaning up the horseman here. But core, this is the meat grinder he can keep doing for now. His farms are still active. Castle drop comes in. Gold now being gathered. He's looking for the quality. Yeah, he needs a big switch up, right? I think actually Unitex at this rate if you want to keep contesting this. Because biology is in play. These Sipahi have got 275 HP each. Oh, damn. Who is this monster? Ayum. New on our radar. I'm starting to have a feeling we'll be seeing a lot more of him. Because this is not easy for core now. Because the farms, they've been reached. Spearman giving chase, but this many Sipahi, they kill so fast they can just move on before you arrive. Just going to keep poking them down. It's just about shrinking that food income. It does actually get bogged down on the spears, so not the best micro there in the end from Mayum. Reinforcements going to get chased away for the moment. We do have veterancy for archers coming in, so it's going to be a switch over onto the archers. Core does sweep through the cavalry in the end. He still maintains the eco count. Welcome to the life of China. Oh no. I have lots of food. 2 TC. What will I build? And he's making the right call. I like this. Elite army tactics, I think it makes a lot more sense than going and upgrading your horsemen. Because your horsemen are still going to lose against Sipahi. So you have to directly counter them first and come back towards it afterwards. What's up, Jinx? Appreciate the prime sub, mate. Welcome to Swarm. A good game for it. I got a feeling this one's getting up on the YouTubes. Pokes in again. He's just trying to achieve that idol. The funny part is it doesn't feel like Core's stopping to farm often. He's like, oh yeah, no. You guys, like, it's luck of the draw, okay? You either get to rent my farm area for another year or you die. Oh my god, my ears. Please. Oh, look, you kept him in the farm area. I'm sure he'll be upset about that. My Core's eco number isn't moving, but in fairness, it's not like it's a negative for Ayum. He's taking this time to continue to inflate his own. 36 farms, got the perfect production rates with the Civil Observatory. Looking pretty scary here. Goes to the primary TC. Spears will chase that away. Has got a few Springalds to remain threatening, though. Maybe shoot them? This game's getting weird, man. It does feel like after that really big fight, there's been a little bit of burnout, a slowdown. Like, Ayum's army is definitely very big. Like, he's trying to get it all across here to leverage. Oh, that's crazy. He's going hand cannoning now. Limited gold, and he hasn't re-garrisoned the relics yet, right? Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, he did. He picked them up. He got them back. Okay. So, yeah, he's got the full 4 relics. Yellow never snatched them. I think that might come to bite him in the arse, actually. Yeah, the fact that Core's got that extra passive gold is going to enable this constant pump. Because remember, the veins are running out. Into the farmlands again. Textile's just kind of making this annoying with the castles drop, though. We will finally see Core seek shelter for once, actually respecting the value of his workers, but that actually gets more of them killed. Yeah, you know what's great for a Sipahi is actually being able to stand still and attack. Oh, God. Core needs a wall? No! We have a Great Wall over here. Historically, it is meant to stop all of these savages from raiding our lands. How dare you suggest we need more walls? What do you want me to buy those walls? Do you want me to just walk down to Chinese IKEA and buy one? Actually, they probably do sell those. What is Chinese IKEA? Isn't that just Temu? I feel like we've just been sitting here on the push for a long time. Hey, don't judge the Great Wall Gatehouse. He's got wood. He's living the best beaver life he's ever had. Rams don't exist. Rams take up PopCap. I need all that for more Sipahi. You shut your dirty mouth. The answer is always this unit. Yo, have you ever noticed how sick Sipahi look? Is that a bear skin? They're wearing bear. I didn't even notice this before. How have I not noticed it before? How many bears have they killed? All right, oh, it's a lion. Oh yeah, you're right. Wait, how is there any lion population left? With how many Sipahi we send into battle with lions, either someone's really good at retrieving skins, or we've caused a really big awkward issue in the balance of the ecosystem, you know? I like to imagine that every horse has to destroy a lion himself and skin it. So, you know, you just walk into the Ottoman training center and there's just a Sipahi's horse there, sitting on like a blacksmith's like stool, skinning the lion with his hooves. All landmarks down. Ayum is looking pretty strong right now. The core has bought a lot of time. He's almost up to 20 hand cannoneers. Remember, these aren't any hand cannoneers. These are Chinese hand cannoneers. These hand cannoneers come equipped with sniper scopes. They can 360 blaze no scope you from cross map like a Modern Warfare 2 sweaty 14-year-old kid that always got you in those pub lobbies. I was that 14-year-old kid at the time. You're welcome. I guess that makes Great Bombards the Modern Warfare 2 noob tube equivalent, actually. Horseman. Great Bombards are gonna have to start backing up. Kind of weird that we didn't have more Great Bombards, no? Like, anyone else feeling that? Like, the count feels a bit low. I would have expected more here. Military schools, they should be producing into Sipahi. You typically go Sipahi because it's so expensive with food in the late game. Wait, did he just... He actually done it! There was a huge gap! Ayumi didn't have more troops coming in. No, there's no way. There's no way Core comes back from this, surely. Are you freaking kidding me? Core in the corner? It's like a superpower for him. 68 farms for China. Almost 3,000 food income a minute. And just blob. Sipahi, they try to rotate onto the hand cannoneers. They're just not really getting the impact they'd like to see here. Still holds a heavy dose on that back line. Both armies are thinning fast here. Remember that the weakness of Ottomans is like when you go full army reset and build again. They like to be at that point where they're just shy of being capped. So they keep producing passive units for free. But that's not happening here. It's turning into unlimited meat blob. What's impressive as well is he's doing this all without Yuan. Yuan is usually the game changer for this type of composition. He ignored it the whole time. Great Bombards. They start being a little bit of a nuisance. Maybe not enough. The problem is, like, when the blob isn't huge, it's hard for your Great Bombards to get great splash value. My God. From corner to corner. This guy. He's drawn a line across the map. like, this is border gore. I need to bring my kingdoms together. And he's like, if he goes for the third corner, he's literally Age of Empires 4's conk-free corner boy. He's moving for it for a raid. He's not going for it for the gold, which is a little bit surprising, but that actually might change soon. Considering he wants more hand cannoneers, he's going to need this. They both do, really. You know, you're trying to mass Janissaries to deal with the horsemen. Janissaries are a lot of gold as well. They're primarily gold. Sipahi back in. Wait, is he just trying to go for the landmarks? There's no way. Like, this is why there's no way. The Great Wall Gatehouse will always be the stopper. I think he was looking for the farms, but... Cool. He was in position to start denting the raid. He's going to get out there for a little bit. But not really a death sentence considering his military numbers. And also, Ayumi kind of struggling with the A-clicks through here. I keep saying Ayumi and then saying Ayum. I'm just going to call him Ayum. Ayum sounds more correct. Oh my god. Yeah, it turns out these guys actually do hurt now. And well, you guys want a Palace Guard? You're getting Palace Guard. Palace Guard, nah, not for frontline. Palace Guard are a raiding unit here. Hits the backside farms. Horseman also getting a great trade over here. Catches the stone walls being built up. I think this is over. Ayum just doesn't have a rebulk. Core is a monstrosity, man. HRE in China to get a series win. Like, his draft this entire series, HRE English China. This is a man who refuses to update his LinkedIn profile. The year is still 2021. Oh, good God. Also, historically, he's been a hell of a Roost player as well. Like, he does just play all the traditionals, doesn't he? Not so much French. I don't feel like I see him often on French. He needs Ming. He needs Yuan. You're all wrong. He just needs more units. Oh, my God. This man is an absolute monstrosity. Giga Chad Core turning up. This was one insane comeback. No doubt about it. But every ounce of it earned. Moving into the base now. Ayum's going to have to react. He's got mass Sipahi. But it's a lot of spears. And Gunners, not too bad at dealing with this Eva. He's going to turn onto them to try and punish. If he activates that attack speed, he'll melt to the spears and he knows it. His backline already decepted. It's just a raw numbers game at this stage. And I might not be a master mathematician. I'd have to consult my Twitch chat to do the maths. But these numbers don't look good. Don't need to be Einstein to see that. 92 to 28 now. This is the kill blow push. Trying to get some fresh troops up. That's going to be a dive towards the economy. Horsemen already have slipped in. Ottomans in a panic trying to castle up. But Yuan, China. That was like a low-key pun, Yuan, because we're still on song. You don't have the build speed. Oh my god, they're going to all die. They're actually going to die. He needs more workers. Pulls a second wave, but it's too little too late. He calls it GG. Core in the corner. But nobody puts baby in the corner.